We emerged as the Continental Day for Democracy and Against Neoliberalism after an agreement among social movements and organizations in November 2015, 10 years after the People's Victory against the Free Trade Area of the Americas, FTAA. We envisioned unity in diversity as our fundamental premise, following the principles of building trust as a basis for coordinated action and mobilization in defense of people's rights.
At the time, we developed a political reading of that historical period and context, which enabled us to define common work themes: rejection of free trade and transnational corporations, and the defense of democracy and regional integration for people's sovereignty. We defined feminism and environmental justice as indisputable and necessary cross-cutting themes to carry out this work. All of these themes became key aspects to face the multiple crises and their perpetrators.
The creation of the Continental Day in 2015 was at the same time a ratification of our decision as social movements and organizations to build a unified agenda. Joint analysis and the building of a collective political subject ratified the need to resist together the new attacks on democracy in the region, with the rise of authoritarianism and fascism as outstanding features.
Coups d'etat, impeachments, and legal processes against left-wing presidents, the criminalization of social protests, repression, persecution and murder of social leaders, authoritarianism, increased violence against women, among other things, have been features of the political turmoil experienced in 2015 to this day, and we have faced all of this through the unity we have built in coordination as movements, organizations, and political processes. Always open to the participation and integration of other sectors and to dialogue with like-minded political forces and parties in the fight for system change and the building of internationalist solidarity.
From 2015 to 2020, we carried out many continental mobilization, struggle, and resistance actions. Alternating between centralized and decentralized actions, we have managed to carry out massive mobilizations for the building and defense of democracy and regional integration, aiming to build people's sovereignty. Montevideo in 2017 and Havana in 2019 were milestones in the process for building a united programmatic agenda based on our diversity, always with a strong component of popular mobilization.
At key political moments in our continent, we have taken a stand. We denounced the coup d'etat in Bolivia, we rejected the European Union-Mercosur trade agreement, the ongoing interference and attacks against the sovereignty of Cuba and Venezuela, and the prosecution of left-wing social and political leaders. We have also expressed our solidarity with the Colombian people in the face of the endless violence against their social leaders, with the US people overwhelmed by Donald Trump and police and institutional racism, and also with the Chilean people mobilized against the plundering exerted by Sebastián Piñera's administration with the reform of the constitution inherited from dictator Augusto Pinochet. These were some of the pivotal movements when we mobilized in defense of democracy in our region.
In the face of the global health crisis, which is a product of neoliberalism that has led humanity to the COVID-19 pandemic, we continue the process of coordination and international solidarity of our Continental Day.
We have strengthened our popular and collective political subjects, analyzed the challenges, and materialized our agendas with unity in order to build together the people's responses against the global crisis.
We work in the context of the concrete possibilities of each social movement and organization, and we coordinate our actions in support of peoples in times of great difficulty, facing lockdown strategies and declarations of states of emergency manipulated by the right wing.
These strategies have sought to avoid the people's protests that have been taking place since 2019, which have confronted capitalism and its neoliberal face on the streets with permanent mobilizations.
Siguen hoy vigente nuestros principios fundamentales,
los que también, en medio de la crisis de la salud, nos han permitido continuar la articulación de nuestra agenda programática la confluencia de diversas acciones y nuestra apuesta política conjunta.
Seguimos respondiendo a los desafíos y construyendo poder popular.
Como Jornada Continental por la Democracia y contra el Neoliberalismo,
continuamos la construcción de unidad en la diversidad.
Desde la confianza, forjada en la acción política articulada.
La solidaridad internacionalista y la construcción de la soberanía de los pueblos.
¡Seguimos en lucha!